Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Strangelove, I Want to Be Chrome by Brenden Swan. And this is actually part of a package that I got. This is from an Indiegogo campaign. The actual campaign was for this book right here, Disintegration Street Volume 1, which I actually featured on one of my last week on Indiegogo videos. Yeah, some of you are probably asking what happened to that series. Kind of lost interest in it, honestly. But yeah, so it came. This came with the bag and board, and then this is the Disintegration Street Volume 1, kind of in like a manga type format. And this is actually not a traditional manga aspect ratio. I think this is 5:7. It looks like it. So it looks like Brenden drew on American style paper, but basically dropped it down to like Archie Digest size. So there you go, right here. Also came with this really neat art pamphlet. So it contains a lot of art of Beauty Number 2, which is this character right here. So let's get into this book. So first off, this guy Brenden Swan, I discovered him through my last week on Indiegogo series. And I was just stunned that nobody was talking about this guy at all. I think there's one video reviewing this particular comic, which was his first Indiegogo crowdfunder, and nobody talking about Disintegration Street whatsoever, other than I think me. Which is unfortunate because this stuff is genuinely cool, and this entire package, and this is like, I forget how many pages this is. I think this is 100 and something pages. I forget. It's a lot of pages. This is almost like a full manga size right here, so it's like almost 180 pages. This particular comic book is 40 pages, saddle stitched, and then this little art pamphlet on the side, which was just black and white ink, was just kind of a bonus that he kind of added in for free. So I know for a fact his campaign did not raise a lot of money compared to other Indiegogo campaigns out there. So the fact that he was able to deliver all of this with the little funds that he raised is very impressive. Now, to be fair, he did do that using, essentially digital printers, just because his print run was probably very small, which is fine by me. I don't mind any of this extra stuff considering what I got for the price that I got it at. So I will eventually review Disintegration Street. It's a much, I would say, different story, I should say, than Strangelove, though not too different. Also, his art style kind of changes in Disintegration Street just a tinch, or a pinch, I should say. But for now, let's go over this one. Strangelove, I Want to Be Chrome. This book is, this comic book is fascinating because this is a type of genre, and in this case, this is a very offbeat, almost romantic comedy kind of thing that this book is going for, though it's kind of a dark romantic comedy. And this type of genre and type of story is very, very common in manga. Very, very common. The Japanese love this kind of stuff, but it is extremely rare in the United States, since comic books are, generally speaking, usually superhero fare or something related to superhero fare. Yeah, let's jump into this. So he opens it up, and basically we get the setting. This character is kind of narrating through all of this. This is very manga-like. There's no caption boxes. The words are just in the frame, which the Japanese are very fond of that type of lettering. So here you get some boobs, some ass and tits to start this. And we're introduced to Robin, who is a musician or composer, and he's not at the beach oogling at people, or at least, supposedly. He's kind of an unreliable narrator, this guy. And he's actually looking for a muse, a woman that will essentially inspire him to create music. And he has a neighbor, and in the neighbor's house, there's this really beautiful woman that he sees, and he wants to kind of, meet her. And he kind of, knocks on the door, tries to see who's there. Nobody answers. He, very sketchy-wise, decides to break in. You can see how this is kind of going off the rocker really fast here. And he ends up finding this computer terminal, and he runs into this character, Andy Stone. He's got the umbrella head of that Japanese scientists in manga tend to have. And this guy basically goes through describing how he's actually truly an artist and he's trying to create something that will mirror the human form and emotion within a being, you know. And then he sort of disappears, and Robin's like, "That's really weird." And then he looks at this curtain over here, opens it up, and here is the woman that he was looking at the entire time. So turns out she's basically a robot. And she's a robot that was programmed by the character Andy Stone to be and desire to be a human romantic partner, and as best as she can. And what follows is a lot of, and again, a lot of rom-com mangas tend to have this, is sort of a play on the sort of emotional, spiritual, sexual desires of men to have just this woman who's sort of like a puppet, kind of like the doll or human doll fetishes in a way. Again, if you're not into this, I can totally get it. This is a genre that is common in manga, but in American comics, and I don't know necessarily if the Europeans have comics like this. I should look that up and see if they do as well. I imagine they probably do. But in America, this kind of genre is really, really weird. But trust me when I say for manga, this is very common, and also this is very well executed. I've read some rom-coms and stuff like this, and I think this book in particular is actually really fascinating. And so you get a lot of playfulness between the robot and the man, as the robot is attempting to seduce Robin as best she can using her programming. And then we go through this scene, by the way. It's kind of like a montage that Brenden tried to do here. It was kind of weird, and I didn't really get it all that much. But my understanding is they just went out and did a bunch of things, I guess. Unless this is some euphemism for sex, which I don't know. It certainly looks like in this panel that he got laid. But yeah, they go around, and he's kind of like reaching this point where he's really into this android robot character. You're starting to think like this is getting very Japanese, and yeah, it's getting very Japanese. And this is where it gets really weird. His actual girlfriend, real life girlfriend, shows up, and you know, when the robot finds out, she turns into freaking murder bot at that point. And you know, it turns out he hears his girlfriend screaming, and you know, sees the android and his girlfriend, or his girlfriend on the floor with the android up, and he ends up stabbing the android. And things kind of go south from there, because the sword doesn't really stop the android. I love the emotion and the expressionism by Brenden here. Now, obviously, this is manga inspired, but he has his own style with the way he's doing it, especially this very, it's almost like a dead body look that he's kind of drawing right here. I don't know the right word to describe it, but it's really, really cool. I kind of enjoy it a lot. I will say this, as a point of critique for Brenden in this particular book, and unfortunately the same thing is true in Disintegration Street, as you'll see later. He needs to work on his action panels a little bit more. And I think especially, like, he kind of just jumps to the point of action right here, and there isn't like very good follow through a lot. I feel like the weight of the action in his artwork is not really there, and I think if he worked on it a little bit more, I think his artwork would pop more in terms of how much story they would kind of inspire into the reader, I guess I should say. But anyway, yeah, this was another one here where she like pulls the sword out of her back, and then it looks like she's high-fiving something, but she's actually throwing the sword at him. But this is funny. This reminds me of Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb, which, by the way, I'm going to be reviewing the latest issue in the next video. But yeah, she suplexes him. That's pretty great. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil too much of it near the end here, because the twist is actually really good, and I think, especially if Brenden is able to offer this particular issue for a reasonable price, through some kind of form. I don't know if he should do like a PayPal or eBay or something like that, but he should really offer this book, because I think this is a solid standalone book. It's really, really, for me anyway, being that I can enjoy and appreciate this particular genre. Obviously, if this genre and this kind of story is not really your thing, then yeah, obviously you're not going to really like it. But if you're into rom-coms, if you're okay with that kind of, sort of cute and interesting and sexy sort of storyline. Definitely check this out. It's really interesting and really good. I enjoyed this a ton. Anyhow, let's get to the art, shall we? So, interestingly enough, so here's the deal. This is Robin in Beauty number 2. And what you're noticing here, she has long hair, and that's because in the early parts of the book, she initially has long hair, and then she randomly cuts her hair short right in the middle of it, and then every artwork with her afterwards has her with short hair, including the little short pamphlet right here. She's always with the short hair right here. By the way, Brenden Swan, like, you know, even though obviously this is manga inspired, and very brushy, but I gotta say, man, he's got some freaking like skill, dude. This looks like it's traditional art. I'm gonna guess it is, just because when I look at these, I'm almost certain these are Copics or some sort of alcohol marker, which is very manga-like. Manga uses alcohol markers like these, which was what I use all the time. And this artwork right here looks super, super brushy. Like, I feel like he uses a brush pen, and then either he might use fine liners. I think he uses probably a nib pen of some kind, but really good ink work, very expressive. But getting back to this art, what was fascinating about drawing this is, and let me get the details in here. I kind of drew this a little small right here. So this is the first meeting of them, and I kind of drew her grabbing onto his hand and him kind of being like, whoa, what the hell? I actually didn't have the color palette for the character because the only colored artwork is this page, and I know that this is white. She has like sort of ice blue eyes and really, you know, light blue hair, and she's got a red bow, but the rest of this I didn't have. I actually had to go into Disintegration Street and find it. Where are you? Which, spoiler alert, yeah, she exists in the same universe as this book, Disintegration Street. So that's how I found her color palette finally, and I was like, oh shit, finally, there we go. And you can also tell that the art changes in Disintegration Street compared to Strangelove. But yeah, no, I was just messing with things. I think if I had to redo anything, I'm not a big fan of how I drew her feet. I feel like these feet are way too small. That fucking Liefeld it, god damn it. But it's okay, it's a lesson learned. I'll move from it there. I do like her figure. I think I would probably make her have more of an expressive face, right? I feel like even though she's a robot, Brenden Swan made her very expressive in the book, and I think that's more appropriate for what the art should be doing, right? But anyhow, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, hit the bell for notifications. If you got any questions about Strangelove, I Want to Be Chrome by Brenden Swan, or this art, leave it down below, and I will see you next time.